Hello and welcome back. So today we will be looking at DOM manipulation, and it is quite late, so I will probably just be looking at the first video, and then probably actually not tomorrow I'm working, but later on in the next week I'll be looking at the following things: catching up, and as I mentioned in the previous video, finishing this, and then possibly finding a Java course that I could also be working alongside this, just so that I can have, my bootcamp knowledge, still in my head, and learning on top of it, so don't forget it and all. So basically I'll watch this video, work along, and update you in the end on what I have achieved. So hope you enjoy, and let's crack on. Okay, so welcome back. Quick one. So basically, why have I got two yellows there? Anyway, what we have learned about is how JavaScript can interact with basically the entire HTML and CSS of the website. So basically, we have been using the window for the console. So the console is always interacting with the window, as you can see. If you write in window, enter, come on, oh, it's not working because I've got the hey from the window. And now, or me doing the window alert hey, if I click onto this, there's all the things that are in it, including alert and also the document itself. But that's, where is that? There we go, document. So basically this has all the document information in it as well, which interacts with the HTML. So for me to rephrase this again, document interacts with the HTML, and I think maybe the CSS as well, and the window interacts with the JavaScript and everything, basically, because the document is like a subclass of the window. So, and you can use this to interact with everything, but in a way you don't really need to. For instance, here I guess it does make sense that you do this, but I bet there's other better ways about going about it. But not the best explanation, but I assume you get what the difference is. Well, they're both the same thing, one's just above the other, and you can use them to interact with more specific things. So fun stuff, and since that felt not so long, I think I will go and watch the next video, which is going to be the selectors. So let's see how far I get on with it, because it seems like it's a longer video. Let's go. Hello and welcome back. So let's crack on, and today we are going to be looking at a DOM selectors. So let's crack on. Okay, welcome back. So this is going to be it for this episode on our experience through this course. But what have we learned today? Well, we have gone through the selectors, which are these ones. So we've done this video, and in the previous part of this video we've already also done the object modules. So in here, what have we done? Well, we've learned many ways that we can select different items different ways. So document, as we talked about before, is like a basically it contains all the HTML, and that is basically like a JavaScript like class per se, like, you know, like but I know it's linked to JavaScript basically, and it's like a child of the window, which is everything that you can see on screen. And basically with document we can do, or you know, from document we can get the elements by the tag name, and if we select H1, then it will give us all the H1 documents, or H1 documents, you know, inside the documents by selecting H1. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Anyway, then we can do select the class name of second, shows us which second is. Then we could get element by ID first. So because these are elements, there can be multiple class names with second, and there can be multiple elements by tag name H1, which means that it will give you just like this and like how many you have. Whereas if it's ID, you can only have one of an ID, which gives you the actual, you know, descriptive functions, or you know, features of the actual element. Then we have we can actually select, because the class name is given in an array, we can select it, you know, which one we would want to access by putting in, you know, the array. Then then we get, don't forget this and then what else? Then we got query selector, which is a bit more popular way of doing this. And let me see, so it basically gives you the first option that you're looking for. So if you have query selector, it will just give you the first option. If you have query selector all, it will give you all the ones that, you know, you're looking for basically. And then you can select multiple things. So here we have got the H1 and the li selected. Then we moved on to actually changing the, you know, the actual website. So first of all, we assigned just the name random to one of the lists, which was 23. Then we could get the attribute from the query selector of random. Then we could actually set the attribute of random from 23 to 1000, as you can see here. Then with query selector we can actually select the styles, so the CSS of the actual element. Then with that we could change the styles color that we're, you know, selecting, which we were able to make the title or the H1 element red and the background yellow. And yeah, here you spelled color the British way. And then we moved on to actually setting what you know, the document query selector as a variable, which meant that we we wouldn't have to write all of this out over and over again, saving, you know, space, memory, and just being a lot more efficient. So then we could select the class name, which was h1. Oh no, we could set the class name to of h1 by doing query selector and then dot class name, and then that was just changed or added. A class name of cool titles was added to it. And in the CSS we have actually got the cool titles like CSS basically, which gave the title this look by us changing it to cool titles. And then what have we done? Then we actually selected, so document query selector, we have printed out a list of the classes, and then we could actually add classes and remove classes. So here we added the class name done, which meant that this CSS was activated on the first list member, which is this one. And the toggle is basically you adding or removing it by just toggling between the two states. So you can see that you can turn it on and off. And then lastly we actually looked into inner HTML, which is not recommended, but you can do, which is you changing all of one, you know, the query, or you know, the query selector that you're selecting to a completely different HTML. So you can change the actual HTML that's being seen on screen. And then let's see, we can actually, because, you know, query selector all, we can actually select, you know, which of the arrays that we would like to select, and we can look at its parent elements multiple times and the child elements. So here we went from the list to the unordered list, then we went to the actual body, and then from the body we looked at all the children of the body, which is over here. So that's basically all the selectors we have done so far, which means that, well, if we untick these, so this is how we were going back to it now. We have done these two, and basically this exercise is just to do with us actually participating and experimenting. So fun stuff. I'll leave it there for now because the next video is going to be half an hour one, so I think that's just going to be a video in and of itself. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, whatnot, and see you in the next one. Bye.